Mid-7, a heads up here for another sky event. This time, the Superflower Blood Moon lunar eclipse will be popping off this Sunday. And this is where the Earth's shadow is going to cover the moon. It's going to cast this orange to red color on it, and this is where you get the blood moon talk. And I've covered this many times in the past. There's been blood moon tetrads, triads, and tetrads when they come in a series. And these are significant to certain groups out there. Now, totality is going to occur, and that is when the moon is entirely in Earth's shadow. It will begin at 11:29 p.m. May 15th. It's going to last until 12:53, early morning hour of May 16th. This one itself will be the first of two lunar eclipses that are going to happen this year. If we don't catch this one, we'll catch the other one next year. I will be sharing images. Make sure to share yours with me as well. Get some better shots out there at Doppler.com. Share them on Twitter or keep them out on the live streams. So, look forward to seeing what you guys catch. But again, a heads up here for this event that's going to happen this weekend. Hopefully, we have some clear sky. I'll leave links below. It's Mid-7, Eyes to the Skies.
Luke 21:11. There will be great earthquakes, famines, pestilence in various places, different places, and fearful events, great signs from the heaven. So you see in fearful events, plagues and pestilence all over the world, great signs relating to, for example, these moons, different variety, diversity of moons. These are signs that's from the heaven, warning for things to come. KJV. The great earthquakes shall be in different places, famines, pestilence, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from the heaven. A fruitful land into barrenness, which means not producing, unfruitful, for the wickedness of them that dwell therein. So that's part of that punishment, man. That's the drought, man. That's the famine, man. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in different places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows, man. This is Luke 24:7 and 8, and that's what you're seeing. Droughts in Africa up to 14 to 20 million people. That could be throughout 2022. This year. You're seeing drought and pestilence, California, Arizona, parts of West, the Midwest. Job 5:20, in the famine they shall redeem from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Genesis 12:10, and there was a famine in the land. So that famine in the land, that drought, famine. And Abraham went into Egypt and sojourned there. And the famine was grievous in the land. So it was very grievous in the land at that time. And symbolically, the land is becoming pre-barren, man. One of the worst droughts in Africa, 2011, 2012, 9.5 million people. Livelihood was threatened. Somalia, Dubijati, Ethiopia, Kenya, for example. The one that's coming is going to be worse than that one. And that's an example. There's been droughts and famines in those areas anyway. Look up the word drought. A drought is an event of a prolonged shortages in water supply, whether atmospheric, surface water, or groundwater. You're seeing how from a lack of water, how it cracks different surfaces. The drought can last for months, years, or may be declared after few as 15 days. So it could be a few days, it could be a few months, it can even be years, man. For example, California, the water use is used dramatically. So people are, they're going to use the water, man, but it's going to come a point where they're going to have to ration the water, use it sparingly, man, because the water levels are low. Some different articles. Washington Post, ABC News, Mercury News, Bloomberg.com. What is meant by a drought? A drought is a general defined as deficiency of precipitation over an extended period of time. Lack of rain, for example. Usually a season or more resulting from a water shortage. Lack of rain, things get dried up. The water levels get dried up, lower, everything. For example, areas that's most affected part of the world. Back in the droughts in 2020, Somalia, Zimbabwe, Dubijati, South Africa, for example, and other regions and areas, African countries, for example. Second address real quick. The beginnings of sorrows, great mourning, beginnings of famine. So beginnings of sorrows, mourning, famine, beginnings of great death. These are all the different things. Beginnings of wars, tensions between the nations, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. The power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. All these are equal to beginnings of evils, man. And what shall I do when these evils come? Behold, the famine, the plagues, pestilence, tribulation, anguish, are scourges, which is a tool for punishment, for the amendment. So all these things are sent as a form of punishment, man. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor always be mindful of the scourges, which is the tools to implement for punishment, man. That's the judgment, man. These things are implemented for punishment, man, especially upon the wicked. Behold, victual shall be good, victual supplies shall be so good cheap upon the earth. And that's pretty much the optics of illusion. And they shall think themselves to be in a good case. So that's that false sense of security, man. Thinking they're in a good place. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, the sword, the famine, and great confusion. So when they think they're in that good place, these things are going to be developing behind the scenes, man. 22. For many of them that dwell on the earth shall perish of famine, and of hunger, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So many going to hunger because of famine, lack of food. People going to hunger. That's going to lead to cannibalism. 2 Ezra 15 and 58, man. Which that was going on because of a lack of food in the ancient times, man. That's going to come back. Nothing is new. Scripture says nothing is new under the sun, man. So all these things, they're going to come back 2.0, man. They're going to be on a different level, man. On a more higher level, man. And a level that's going to be on a worse level, man, than previous, man. And the dead shall be cast as dung, bodies on the street, and there shall be no man to comfort them. So you're not going to have time to comfort all the people that's going to... You're gonna see bodies, literally. It's gonna be like the apocalyptic movies, man, that you see, man. Ain't gonna have to be time for comfort or be comforted and crying and Eddie. It's gonna be a very disturbing time when that comes, man. There's gonna be a lot of things going on in the world, man. Read that again. And the dead shall be cast as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down, because there's going to be because of the state and condition of the things that's going to be going on in that society in that time, man. This is what Scripture says, man. These things are going to come to pass, man. The drought, the famines are the precursors of these things, man. Let me get that scripture talking about 2 Ezra 15 and 58. Give you an example. This is cannibalism right here. They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger. So one's in the mountains. Mountains represents powers. Mountains represents government or powers. In the mountains, pretty much at high places. High places or apex, highest points. Read it again. They that be in the mountains shall die in hunger. And they that be in the mountains shall die of hunger, and eat their own flesh, and drink their own blood. The blood is life, man. So that's abomination, man, ultimately. For very hunger, and bread, and thirst of water, because of a lack of what? Bread, water. That's famine, man. And that's cannibalism, man. In the ancient times, those things, that's how bad it got regarding the drought and the famine. And this thing is going to happen. Nothing is new under the sun, so it's going to return again, upgraded 2.0, man. This is the bitter of the scriptures, man. This is what these churches over here don't teach, man. Churches teaches kumbaya, everybody loves. We not in a time of love, man. Ecclesiastes. We'll go 3 and 1, and go 3 and 8. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. So it's a season and a time to every purpose under the sun. There's a time and season for everything. There's a time for certain things to be done. There's a time for certain things not to be done, for example. Let's go to number 8, man. I'll read number 3 first. A time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up. Go to number 8. Let's go to number 4. I'll build up to number 8. A time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance. So we're in a time of weeping and mourning, man. A time to love, a time to hate, a time of war. That's the times we're in. We're in times of division, dissension, strife, contention, even hatred, man, and division, man. A time to hate, a time of war. We're in a time of war. These nations, kingdoms, nations are building up upon another. Potential war breaking out. Ukraine, also talking about potentially China and Taiwan, possibly. So a new scenario, new things that could be developing. A time to love, a time to hate, a time of war, a time of peace. So we in a time of war and potentially a time of hate, man. We're not in a peaceful time, man. Look at the time and season, according to the purpose of the time and season that we're in, man. We in a season of strife, contention, and a lot of calamities. For many great misery shall be done in the latter times because they walk great in pride. Because of their pride, that's why all these things are coming upon them. That's 2 Ezra 8:50, man. But a lot of these people are oblivious to that. They're in their little bubble of blindness, man. They don't see the obvious, man, until it's too late, man. These people in the Christian churches, man, for example, over here, man, they're the walking dead, man. They have their eyes open, but they're not seeing, man. Neither they care to see, even if it was right in front of them, man. Let's go to 2 Timothy's 3:1. From an earthly and carnal level, it kind of angers you because these institutions deceive the people, man, with a falsity of peace and safety, man. But not knowing, they don't want to teach them because the truth, because it's all part of a certain thing to keep these people under the bread and circus and the illusion of entertainment, man. To keep them distracted from the obvious that could be going on, man. That's another lesson itself. This know also that in the last days perilous times. We in perilous times, bad times. Be circumspect and not as fools, as wise, redeeming the times because they're evil. Days are evil, man. So we have to be circumspect, be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, man. Because the time and season that we're in is perilous times. It's bad times. It's not a good time, man. It's a time high time to wake out of sleep because our salvation may be nearer than we believe. Romans 13:11. So we have to be in a certain conscious mind state, man, of things that's going on, man, because there are things that's going on. Because you visibly don't see it here doesn't mean it's not going on, man, because something's going on. That being said, this is something quick. Shalak, This brother Zayab, this means wolf. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yoshua Bashim Rakakada Shalom.